Don't use ChatGPT to kind of send us a proposal because you'll be rejected. How did you even get into the freelancing space?
Choosing the way you want to work and live your life.
Got it. So that's the first time you probably found about your hidden talent. Would have that question. How much you earned so far on Upwork, and probably what is your currently monthly earnings on Upwork?
But COVID, it was like that part of my life when things changed a lot.
Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Candid Talks, where I talk to people from different backgrounds to bring you the insights and stories you need to succeed. And I'm thrilled to kick off things today with someone truly special. And she is Vlada, who's doing a great work as a UI UX professional on Upwork. And today we're going to talk about what drives Vlada's passion for UI UX and the ups and downs of her journey, and a lot more valuable insights into the freelancing space. So let's get started. Hey, hi Vlada. Thank you very much for giving your time today. I'm excited to kind of cover a lot of things with you today, but let's probably kick off things with your introduction and your journey into the freelancing and the Upwork space as well. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Sai, for inviting me today. It's such a pleasure for me to join this podcast and tell more about my experience as a UX UI designer and share more information about it. So my name is Vlada, and I'm practicing UX UI designer for last 4 years of my experience. In these years, I've been working on different projects. It was e-commerce projects, SaaS projects. It was web design solutions. It were mobile application solutions. And in these years, basically I've gained a lot of experience on working with multiple clients, working on different spheres, achieving the goals from the visual perspectives and bringing to businesses results that bring some success to them and achieve
Yep.
the specific targets. So I would love to share more information about what I did in these years, because basically more of them I've been freelancing. And this is a very interesting journey of mine that I wish to continue more. And basically, it's my focus right now. In the last
Definitely.
years, different things happened. I was firstly in 2020. I was at university. I was a student of the Faculty of International Affairs.
Got it.
That I enjoyed. I enjoyed studying a lot, but COVID happened,
Yeah.
and that was the time when everybody, I think, spent a lot of time at home. Like everybody was kind of isolated from the real life. And I remember
Yep.
myself at this year when I was, studying remotely and having like a lot of free time to explore new things on the internet, to see how like world changed in that moment. And basically, I was at that time having kind of like a part-time job.
Okay.
I was a product manager within the
Oh, okay.
company.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. 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 That's interesting.
Yes, that was super cool, but it's been like for a few months actually. I was helping like a friend of mine, and during that time, I was communicating, of course, with clients and designers because it was mostly the design agency. And
Got
the
it.
thing was that I remember myself like checking any information on the projects and helping like to communicate people within
Yep.
like
Yep.
different stakeholders. And it was an amazing experience of mine, because like I also met like a lot of people, a lot of clients. And I tried also to see how like different results could be achieved within like the design processes. And that's, I think, my first time when I got into that sphere, actually, like on some
Into the
professional
design
level.
space. Got
Yes,
it. Got
exactly.
it. So
Exactly.
it was 2020 when you kind of completed your graduation, and that's when you entered into this kind of a role. Is that?
Actually, I was still studying. It's been
Oh,
like
you,
2 years for, yeah, exactly, like to get my bachelor degrees, but it was in politics. And
oh wow, wow, yeah,
because COVID
completely
started,
different. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, exactly, like different field actually. And I
Awesome.
pretty saw myself in politics.
Got it.
And this thing that I was studying, like a lot of history and etc., it was also like super interesting for me. But
Got it.
COVID, it was like that part of my life when things changed a lot, and I was at
Yep.
home helping my friends also like on the design agency, like a project manager. and yeah, earning some money on this, of course. And it was
Got
the
it.
great opportunity for me to get into the IT sphere actually. So
Got it.
the situation happened that I saw like some specific client. He wanted some changes to be made with a design that
Design.
another designer within the agency was giving to. And I think that was the moment when I tried to help a bit to this designer without any knowledge, of
Any
course, just
knowledge.
like
Got it.
brainstorming. Yeah, brainstorming with the designer as a project
Yeah. Yeah.
manager, see how we can do some changes with the color palette and etc. And
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually, I suggested my vision of how the product could look like
Got it.
on the visual perspective, yeah, to the
Hmm.
client. And actually, client choose my variant rather than the designer. And I was like,
Oh
well,
wow.
okay, that means something. Because at that moment, I realized that, well, that's something interesting for me. And the way it
Got it.
works, like kitchen itself, of how visuals are uh, craftings and etc. So
Correct.
it was super interesting for me. And I actually
Got
saw that, yeah, and actually I saw that it will be like a great thing for me, not to learn, but get information more about it, you know.
got it. So that's the
So
first time you probably found about your hidden talent of design, and probably got into that space then.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's true.
Awesome.
And I started to attend some online courses on design because,
Okay.
again, the
Okay.
COVID time, it was the time when people were so bored at home. A lot of businesses, they
Correct.
were trying
Correct.
to earn some money, and a lot of IT agencies that were actually working offline, they started to make courses online. People were
True.
making courses, selling them. Some of them were like for free. A lot of resources also I searched on YouTube and etc.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my path when I started to gain more knowledge about design. And
Got it.
after completing few courses, like few full complex courses on the user experience and also on the user interface, and also reached like a lot of resources like YouTube, Reddit, a lot of also design sources that I found. After exploring them, I really
Yeah.
gained some experience to start actually my career and to get my first project.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, sorry to interrupt you. Just a quick question here, Vlada, just for our users to kind of know more if someone has interest to kind of start in the design space. Um, so you did multiple courses, right? Probably on different platforms, but the kind of information that you got on YouTube, do you think that is a good start for someone to get into the design world, just to get up to speed on what the basics are for someone to get in the UI UX world? Do you think, or any other suggestions there? Any specific courses that you probably found the most helpful? Yeah, feel free to share them.
that's a very good question, actually. Me personally, I consider that if you want to begin in the new sphere, if we're speaking about design, right? From
Yeah.
my experience, I could tell that on the beginning, it's not enough, and probably it's not that professional approach. I would rather trust some specific school, online school, or any source that give you course to get information because at least it has been organized by the specific person who actually have experience within it and is able to provide the most basic but super informational and useful tips at the first step. I
Got
think
it.
YouTube, yeah, I think YouTube and other sources are like the benefits for you. Because actually when you start growing in the design sphere, you are like you're having unlimited opportunities. If you are within the course, you also have if you have passion for it, right? If you like learning design actually and you enjoy
Yeah. Yeah.
course, how it was with me, I started to explore more like internet sources and to see how, for instance, some tools works because when I
Okay.
got, for instance, course within theories of user experience and etc., and the main tool that was given for us to learn was Figma, I was also actually observing some other tools like as Adobe XD, and
Correct.
there
Yeah.
was like exactly like another tools like Sketch was also
Correct.
kind of popular. So yeah, and I mean also the user interface is more actually interesting to observe in the internet only, not only on the courses,
Correct.
because
Correct.
user interface is something that you actually get knowledge from different people because I think
Yeah.
design community is huge on the internet. And for
Correct.
instance, I have like a list of my favorite designers who work within graphic sphere or user experience sphere. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to read about their cases, and also UI designers to see how, for instance, they approach some specific style within the project, how they transfer the mood of the business into the visual perspective. So
Correct.
I
Got
think
got it.
answering your question and summing up, I would tell that if I would like to start, I would rather pick a course, maybe not that like not that high complex, at
Yeah.
least to get the specific information in the terms of the plan and organization of materials from the real professional. So I think that
Got
would be the
it.
best.
Probably something like a short-term professional courses that we've been seeing these days could be probably 6 months, 12 months as well. So yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
exactly,
interesting.
exactly. If you would like to choose the course, it's better also to see if the course provides you the support within the duration of the course.
Of the
I mean, it's
course.
better,
Got it.
exactly. It's better because at the beginning, I think if you start in any sphere, especially in
Yeah.
design, you will have like a lot of questions. How does this work, or why does I need to do this in this specific manner, or something?
Got it.
Because these questions that you would get at the beginning, you would be facing some difficulties of finding answers, and
True.
answers should be also good, because a lot of people in the internet, they post things, and for instance, I
Correct.
see some descriptions of the courses, and I would think, oh, better I would give people who start in that sphere like a bit different information.
True.
Or yeah, observing information on internet, it could be like absolutely different. And if you want to like really get good skills and be professional, I think better to start with a specific course.
Got it. No, that's super helpful. Thanks so much, Vlada, for that. And I'm curious on a couple of things now, based on your response there. Personally, as I'm working as a product manager, I've been into the design space a bit in the past few roles, and for me, Figma is one of my favorite tools because it has. I somehow feel it has probably a very less. What do you call learning curve in terms of the UI. It's easy to kind of get started on the tool. Do you find the same in terms of Figma compared to other design tools like Sketch or InVision or other tools? Or how did you kind of land up on using Figma for your design projects?
Yeah, I think if I got your question right, I would think that I would tell actually that Figma, I think, is the main tool that I would use to create
That
the
you
user
use. Got it.
interface.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, exactly, because Figma has like a lot of plugins, a lot of also files that you can find within Figma community. It's super
Exactly,
useful.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly, it's
yeah, yeah.
also one of the resources that you could use during your user experience, user interface
Exactly.
journey. You can
Yeah,
find
yeah.
a lot of designers sharing their files on different topics. Like it could be design
Topics.
systems that you could
Yeah, yeah.
observe, some visuals, for instance, to see how specific designer made visuals for chat function, and you see what
Correct,
are the
correct.
components, what
Yeah,
are the connections, and everything, or
true.
how everything is created. Mhm.
Yeah, the community is huge. Yeah, the Figma community is huge. I did find a good bit of free resources as well on Figma, which is really great. And my follow-up question would be then after you got your knowledge from a couple of different courses and all, how did you kind of venture into this whole Upwork and the freelancing space? Because I think during that COVID period, a lot of people started creating their profiles on Upwork or Fiverr just to kind of get into the freelancing space. Because I know I've heard from people who are also working full-time jobs, as they're working from home during the COVID, they cannot go to office. They've also kind of started building their side hustle through these freelancing jobs. So is that the kind of approach that you took because there isn't any option to go out or work physically? That's how you kind of ended up trying to kind of get into the freelance world, or is that there from the beginning?
Yeah, I would love to answer that. From my experience, I was not approaching some freelance platforms right after the course. When I
Got
got
it.
the knowledge after the course, I actually got the job in the company from Ukraine. I'm originally from Ukraine, from Odessa,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
yeah, and I got the first offer that was actually connected to the school that I was getting course from. And
Got it.
that's actually an approach that you could also expect from the schools, from the private schools that
Got
are,
it.
yeah, that are specialized on giving the courses within the IT sphere, like developers. and
Yeah,
designers
yeah,
get the
yeah,
knowledge from it. They
yeah.
actually could be connected to some specific companies that needs to get like like new people working within their teams, and
Got it.
they provide some internships or junior
Yeah,
opportunities or
exactly.
training opportunities, right? So I got
Yeah.
my first opportunity as a trainee within the Ukrainian company, and
Okay.
yeah, it's been a while. I've been working for that company and bringing my first results. Actually, firstly, I was just more observing how everything works, because
Got it.
knowing how to design, it's not only the only one skill that you need when you work
True.
or with company, or for instance on the freelance basis. You need to know how to communicate with stakeholders. You need to be
Exactly.
super, yeah, you need to be like a team member, right? You need to have that
Definitely.
skill to work with other people and to see how you are together are able to bring something good to the
Correct.
world, like
Correct.
great product.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've seen being in the product space. I've personally seen the product or the engineering would always go back to the design with a lot of feedback, even after something has been approved. So I can definitely relate to the design people on what they think if there is a lot of feedback coming from the clients or any other external or internal teams. I think it's quite important to kind of communicate well and understand what exactly are the requirements to be able to kind of deliver the right solutions. So yeah, I think that's a huge task. So
Exactly.
you mentioned you worked with that company, right? Then how did this at what point did you create your profile on Upwork, or how did you even get into the freelancing space from working in that company?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would tell that I think after half of the year that I was working within the company, I was working actually on the part-time basis. I was
Got
thinking
it.
that I want to move more in the design, right, and maybe get some another opportunity to also work on different projects, right? So
Got it.
yeah, I started actually on Upwork, and that's the main tool that I use, the main platform that I use to
Yeah.
find projects and
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
um, yeah, and to move within the design sphere and to grow professionally in this. But firstly, during university, I was also trying to get some money. Upwork was the platform where I
Got it.
was trying to start as a translator, actually,
Oh
because
wow. Okay.
yes, because I was considering the fact that my English is well to do some jobs like translating
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
other things. Yes, because actually, like all of my life, I had that thrive to learn languages, and
Oh, interesting. Okay. Good. Good. Good to
yes,
know.
that's why like I really enjoy speaking English, and I enjoy learning still English, and to grow like my fluency in this language as well, and then and other languages anyway. So I think that firstly I started on Upwork as a translator, getting not that much projects. I remember that it was not successful for me.
Got it.
um, then I actually was using Upwork just to be like a product manager within the agency that I've been working.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, like, and I get already like my profile already created and etc. And after a while, when I was attending courses and working within the company, I decided that I want to get to Upwork because I was feeling that confident feeling that I can start and search for a project within that platform and move
Got it.
more in the design sphere. And I was extremely impressed how much projects Upwork has in the design sphere. And of
Yes.
course,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got no experience at the beginning with working like freelance clients, like really, how to say, establishing some business context, right? It was kind
Correct.
of for
Correct.
me scary moment of mine, but I already had the portfolio
Got it.
with my design solutions, and I already got even some testimonials. Like I was already feeling that I'm able to start within this path.
Got it.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like actually achieving the goal of breaking my humbleness and shy feeling, like to talk with people and to see how project could go on, actually helped me
Yeah.
to move in. And for the last 3 years, I'm mostly freelancing.
Awesome.
So yes, I think I answered the
So,
question.
Yeah, no, no. Thanks so much for that. So probably after, and this is in 2021, right? Probably where you started your Upwork journey, or was it in the COVID year itself?
No, actually, it was already like half of the year when I was like already working and
Already
got my
working in the
yeah,
company. That's
yeah,
awesome. So
exactly. And yeah, I was hearing a lot about freelancing because even after like first year of COVID, I was feeling, well, that's really good, like that people are able to keep on working and actually change their specialization, right?
yeah,
Like to
yeah, yeah.
get more involved in different sphere, and that's amazing, and people can work on themselves. And I heard like a lot of stories, even from my friends that were also like freelancing,
Uh-huh.
and also in science fair actually, that I was also impressed, and I was like, well, that's something really cool. Like you could be like choosing the way you want to work and live your life, or you want to be working within the company, which also have a lot of benefits,
Yeah, yeah,
or you actually can choose freelancing and be more on your own. That also has some pros and cons.
yeah, yeah.
So actually, that was the time when I was getting more projects on freelancing, and I
Got it.
thought that having that control that I really enjoyed, the fact that I have it, it changed also my way of career. I actually switched more to freelance.
Got it.
So, and I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
more busy with projects and etc. And I really enjoyed it. And that's actually how I switched to freelancing. Already like having
Freelancing.
experience, yes, and trying
Got
already and getting like good results. Even firstly, I was not earning a lot.
it. Hmm, hmm.
Um, for the first months on freelancing, I think I earned like $20. And I was
Wow.
super happy that, yeah, I've been working for a month, but I was like trying to do something.
Got it.
And yeah, and then like project starts to appear more. I get like more experience, and that was more
Got it.
enjoyable.
Probably you're doing the initial projects for almost like kind of a free kind of projects, I believe. Probably not charging much.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
But
it. Got it.
I was super proud of myself that I could do that, knowing the fact that I
Definitely.
know what to do, I know how to help this specific client, right? And
Got
the
it.
experience was absolutely much more important for me than the salary, than
Than
the
the
income.
money initially. Yeah,
Exactly.
no, definitely that makes total sense because I think even back, I think during the COVID period, there was a good bit of competition. I think, yeah, with the initial experience, yeah, I believe you can get your competitive advantage and then slowly start to build the income part as well. So yeah, I think that brings me to super curious question. Probably many of the people watching this video as well would have that question: how much you earned so far on Upwork, and probably what is your currently monthly earnings on Upwork, given all your experience on Upwork so far? What is that you're making today?
Yes, actually, that's a nice question because people really needs to know to understand
Yes,
how
yeah,
much
yeah,
you
yeah,
can earn within the
yeah,
freelancing path that you choose, and yeah, actually, like understanding the pros and cons in freelancing, how much you can make your living, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, answering myself, I think it super depends on the year because some years I was like having like better salary, better income, and projects were more like having more professional approach that were like companies that needed um, outstaff, for instance, designer to work within
Got
the
it. Yeah.
team, or there were like projects just to be done within a week, something quick, something like for proof of
Something that,
concept,
yeah,
etc. Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think like the recently like checking my statistics through the freelancing platform, within the year it could be from 30 to 50K per year in the dollar currency.
Got it.
That's actually, I think, yeah,
That's
it's
impressive.
also the average how I would tell middle UX UI designers could earn within the platform. So the
Got it.
more you get experience, the more you get projects, the more you learn and get your skill set to be like increased, right? Yeah, and that's something that I really like, that when you are growing your career within the IT sphere, it really super important how many skills you have, how professional you are within the sphere, right?
Yeah,
And it's not mm, it's not something that you need to stick, for instance, for the time parameter, right? Because previously, I
Yeah.
know my parents, they needed to grow within their career path like for years, right? And you need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get specific years within the sphere to really like get your level up. You can
Correct. Yeah.
actually level up yourself whenever you want. Like the main thing that is super important is your motivation and your through willingness like to get more things to know, right? And to get like more information how you can do specific visuals, right? So that's
Got
super
it. Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, definitely. But yeah, I think that's great, Vlada, because I think given the benefits of the freelancing space and what you're earning, I think it's a good, decent salary for many of the people who are working full time jobs, and always have the risk of that job security with the whole layoffs and the trend that is going on at the moment. So yeah, I think I appreciate you sharing those details. Really glad to know that. And I think probably as you grow within the platform, you would also probably be able to kind of keep earning more and growing your client base as well. And just one other follow-up question to this: Are you, so since you started on Upwork, are you only working with clients on Upwork, or do you also get clients from external sources? Like, is it like probably directly from other some of your colleagues or some other businesses directly approaching you, or is it mainly through Upwork that you're freelancing?
Yeah, in last years, I think mainly Upwork. I'm not on any other freelance platform actually.
Got it.
And yeah, and the only few projects that I remember that I was helping to, they were like from my friends, but I was
Yeah.
doing them on my own, like without Upwork, right? So yeah, mostly Upwork,
Mostly
mostly Upwork.
Upwork. That's nice. That's nice. Nice to know. And now coming back to the UI UX space, right? And also a bit of Upwork. So initially, you gathered a lot of experience, got good probably feedback from your customers. You started kind of building your profile and started to grow on Upwork, right? But what are few things that you think, for example, someone who has just learned UI UX probably from a professional course or somewhere, they probably create their brand new profile on Upwork. What do you think is the situation now? Is it still feasible? What are your thoughts? Because given the immense competition now, because a lot of people have lost their jobs, they're also kind of ending up trying to do something in the freelancing space, be it Upwork or Fiverr. So I'm just asking in perspective from a complete newbie who want to kind of get into the freelancing world in 2024, how challenging it is, and do you have any suggestions for that?
Mm, I think it's super challenging to start growing in another sphere in any time, right? 2024, I think it's the year when um, you can get different projects and they would have more requirements to you. Because I remember when I started, for instance, I was not required to have like a lot of skills, right?
Correct,
Um,
correct. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
more the most important was for me like to have the knowledge of the user experience and to understand how I can correctly make the user interface within the color palettes and typographies. Right
Correct, correct.
now, yeah, during like my career, of course, like I have some community and friends who are within the same sphere as me,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
IT sphere, right? They're developers or QA or HR. I
yeah.
understand that their requirements raise, and in order to start right now in design sphere, it's super important to actually get more into some even dev things. Because right now it's super important, for instance, to know how to build websites with no code technologies. I think that's also
Exactly.
something that right now is super popular, right? And some businesses, they really thrive to make like cost effective projects to be done within like super short timelines. And
True.
if I would, for instance, start, yeah, and I would have that like course already attended, right, and I would get some specific knowledge of the UX UI, I would also check how to build, like, for instance, websites already, and to suggest on freelance platform these things because it's super popular type of the projects that you can get on Upwork to build a website, but not to build it
Got it.
with like some technologies. that are for the web, right? I'm speaking about making design and also transferring to no code. So I think
Exactly. Yeah.
if you would like to start right now, you need to learn more about how AI could help you, because AI
Exactly.
tools are super impressive and they're like super good friends of designers, I think, right now, actually, to build some visuals, to get some more knowledge, and etc. AI is a great tool to help you within your beginning of the design sphere, and to,
Yeah.
yeah, actually to be more exploring right now, because as a designer right now you could do a lot of things actually even without developer needs. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something
yeah.
I would
No,
suggest.
definitely. Yeah, I think you touched on a very good point, like the whole no code revolution, and then also the AI, artificial intelligence. Lots of people now relying on chat GPTs and other GPTs. So, yeah, I think that's very important. I've also been seeing on Upwork platform as well for some of the client proposals, they're clearly stating that don't use chat gpt to kind of send us a proposal because you'll be rejected. So yeah, they know that probably using chat gpt on the job is good, but even for the proposals, people using chat gpt are being rejected in some cases, which is, yeah, which is understandable. So
That's
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
I think it increased an immense competition, like a lot of people, because initially, earlier, client used to have a lot of questions on Upwork to kind of fill out for each job. They used to kind of, people used to manually write them down, but now with the help of AI, they just drop the proposal onto, for example, like ChatGPT, get all the responses, just copy paste it. So yeah, it's helping them in even applying for a job. But yeah, sorry, you were saying something, Lara. Go ahead. Yeah,
yes, actually, that's super nice topic. I was
yeah,
actually discussing that thing with my friends, and also on LinkedIn, a lot of people writes that.
yeah.
Actually, yesterday I saw a post like, why, like, from designer, that friend of
Yeah,
mine,
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw a
yeah.
post that tells like why some clients tell like not to use ChatGPT, like it's an amazing tool and etc.
Yeah.
Right? And I know friends of mine who are working as HRs, and they tell me like, Vlada, if I'm gonna like read another CV that has been written by ChatGPT, I'm gonna
ChatGPT.
like scream because she
I know,
actually
I know,
like
I
was in the
know.
stage of like hiring a lot of people, and I remember that I was like laughing about that because ChatGPT, it's great tool to write some specific letter, maybe, right? Something that you don't practice to write a lot of times, right? Especially within your career,
Correct, correct.
and
Yeah, yeah.
but on the regular basis, yeah, I think you need to learn how to write professional things on the basic level by your own,
Exactly.
right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
writes a lot of words, like it's huge texts, and actually exactly, if you're on the freelance platform, for instance, clients, they don't have time to read all of that. Like I would suggest also people like to be super simple and open, and to make it like in few words, not like writing a full article, for instance,
Full
that
article.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Definitely, I see that because I think that totally makes sense from a client perspective, right? Because the problem is the person who's actually using the chat GPT or applying for that proposal on Upwork might not have that communication skills. But when they put something onto chat GPT's level of communication and the kind of vocabulary or the understanding is completely different. I think probably that's the reason I think clients probably completely hate people using AI to apply for the jobs, because they cannot estimate what the candidate is up to based on that
Exactly.
artificial AI based response. So yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And yeah, what you mentioned is very important, keeping it simple and clean and straightforward, and maybe even probably trying to have a call with the client would also help to kind of get more understanding on the requirements instead of writing pages and pages of proposals for the, yeah, for clients. True.
Exactly, that's a good advice. That's actually how do I approach some project that I start, right? Before to kick them off,
Yeah.
I always
Hmm.
suggest to client that I just got message from like, hey, I'm able to chat like right now, or maybe we can chat in the evening, or
Yeah.
whenever you have time. It will be amazing. It's better to set up firstly that connection that you can get online by talking like tete a tete to a
Having that
person.
human connection. Yep, yep, correct.
Exactly, exactly. Even though it's online, but it helps you to understand, like, firstly, the client, right? Because if you are user, how to say, user experience or UI, or UX UI designer, right? Because it could be also different. Like people
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
wants to grow career in some specific sphere. Anyway, you deal a lot of like with user personas, and I understand like for instance what type of person it is like when I speak with client, and it's actually the how to say, it's the skill that's super required from the user experience designers, I think, to understand the
Correct. Correct.
specific person and the needs, right? Because you actually going to deal then with creating design for the specific user, and there's going to be like the specific target, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's super important to understand like how to deal with people, right? And to be
Yeah.
super simple and super open, and to discuss details as fast as you can, actually, like shortly, to start talking is gonna be perfect.
No, yeah, definitely, totally agree, because you need to have that personal touch, and you'll probably, as a designer, I think there needs to be a lot of communication for every iteration of work that you do. You kind of
Exactly.
present that, give a demo, and they'll come back with feedback. You need to understand what they're talking about by having a number of calls during the entire life cycle of the project. That's interesting. And just again touching on the Upwork part, since you started, how easy was it for you to kind of gain more trust from new clients? Did that happen organically for you, or did you have to kind of even put a lot of work even today to kind of acquire new clients? How's that working?
That's actually the thing that you need to work always. Since
Hmm.
I was having already the portfolio, it was easier for me to get the trust from the
Correct. Yeah.
first
Yeah.
client. And
Yeah. Yeah.
since
Yeah.
I was super focused on getting like experience on freelance rather than getting my first income, yeah, I found
Correct.
super
Yeah.
easily the first project, right? Just to understand like how does it work and how to communicate and etc. Because it was super new for me. And
True. Yeah.
yeah, I would tell that since that moment, and then you grow, right? And
Yeah.
you, from years to years, right? If you're speaking about that career and you really like it, and you spend like more than a year in it, and you continue growing, and you understand that it's something that you want to continue to do, it's super
Yeah. Yeah.
important to actually update your profile and to keep your portfolio done, right? To show the recent things. Me, I'm, for instance, speaking about myself.
Yeah.
I find it sometimes difficult because you need to really to dedicate time for your portfolio and etc. But it's super important. Like you need not to be
Yeah. Yeah.
lazy. If you've done the project and you, for instance, have signed NDA, no, you should not, for instance, show that in your portfolio. It's better to ask the client, hey, I want to like add it to my portfolio. Am I able to do that, for instance, to show the specific parts and
Parts of
deal
the, yeah.
with,
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
yeah, actually you can get your portfolio done. So I would tell that, yeah, after all of these years in the design sphere, working mainly on Upwork, I work on keeping my description like up to date, and to add the
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
specific skills, for instance, that I get. Because yeah, during that years, since the no code technology started to be more
Yeah.
popular and I understand how to build websites, I
Correct.
got skills in it. I added this to my profile, and any skill actually that anybody find and start to um, attend the courses or start to, for instance, get any information from any resource, right, learning resource, and you
Yeah.
actually get the skill, it's better to bring it to your profile. Because when you start, you actually start with super like like low level, right? And then
Yeah.
you
Yeah. No,
level
definitely. You
up,
keep growing. Yeah. Yeah.
keep
No,
growing,
definitely.
right? And you
Yeah.
add the specific skills. So I would tell
Yeah.
it's super important. And
No.
actually, also I wanted to tell that answering your question before, I wanted to
Yeah.
add
Yeah.
more details, right? For people who just decide to start on freelance platforms, for instance, an Upwork, it's super important for you to show actually what you can do, right? To have the portfolio, even if it's
Portfolio.
gonna
Yeah.
have like few things, right? You can do that. Actually, I think it's also a good idea to do the visuals that you found like a training source to do, right? It's not like your real experience, but you were
Got
making
it.
the user research, right? You were making the specific also researches to understand what exactly you need to build, and you
Got
show visually how you can do that. That's actually something that also like helped for me, because there were like plenty of even videos on YouTube like about some user research information, like user experience audit, for instance, for some specific projects. And I've
it. Yeah. Yeah.
tried
Yeah.
like, yeah, actually to redesign the specific website. how do I see it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, initially after getting some yeah, I would tell not even experience, just the knowledge about that sphere, you understand like the main problems of the specific websites. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
moving through that sphere, I actually like see a lot of websites and I see, oh, I would redo that, for instance, because me personally, I
Exactly.
see that it could be better. That's the
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that you actually start to get in the beginning. You start not to criticize the products that you see, but you see how it could be improved because you actually start to think about it more. And
Exactly.
maybe
Exactly.
even few visuals, it's also good, like even to add to your portfolio, because it's the project. Yeah, it was not real, but actually you put your research into that and time and value, and you bring like
Definitely.
better results that you see. And actually,
Yeah.
that could
Yeah.
be super helpful. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's super helpful, Vlad. I think you touched a very important point because initially, when someone is trying to start their freelancing journey, they wouldn't have any portfolio, and people would get confused on where to start or how to start that. I think probably redesigning, looking at some websites, and maybe probably seeing if you can design it from your own perspective, trying to improve it. I think
exactly.
that could very well serve as your initial portfolio before you get real projects, and that'll, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, that's,
super nice. It's super, I think, great tool for the beginners within that sphere. Yes.
yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And I hope probably you do keep getting some invites from new clients on and off, considering your experience on the platform. Is that true, or is that
Yes,
kind of very
actually.
minimal?
Yeah, I think on the daily basis, I got one, two invites. Depends on the actually the time of the year. I would tell like in the end of the year when it's like
Yeah.
about to get like Christmas holidays, New Year, people get on vacations and not that much clients need actions to be done actually. And I remember like 2 years ago, like I was having like not that much projects right now. At
Got it.
that moment, I mean.
Got it.
So
Got it.
like not that much invites. Previously, in the previous year when I was working also on the freelance, um, in December, I remember that like I got more invites than I used to have like 2 years ago. And I was like, oh
Wow.
wow, so it's like great opportunity, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
it's super kind of unstable because some specific people like they needed things to be done like super quick before the holidays, or on holidays like nobody works,
True. Nobody
etc.
works. Yeah. Right. Right.
Yes, for instance. And actually, yeah, I would tell that invitations on the freelance platforms, for instance, Upwork, is super important because it really gets the opportunity for you to get hired super quick if you respond to them like super shortly. Like you get it,
Shortly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you reply and you get into the detail, and if you can chat, that would be also amazing. But on the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
I would not expect to be invited a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
journey where you are more observing the projects and you get information more
More
about
experience on the platform. Yeah.
sales. Exactly, exactly. And you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to
No.
know
No.
clients.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
And one other curious question, I think probably many people also have the same question. What is your? I think everyone have been hearing that freelancing is kind of very flexible. You get to set your own times. You have a lot of flexibility around what you do, when you do, or how you do as well. So I just want to touch base on what is the reality in terms of your flexibility. Do you really get to set your work times, and how do you kind of manage your client expectations and their requirements when you're working on projects?
That's super good question, actually. That's the
Yeah, yeah,
benefit. I think that's the main benefit of freelancing, that you are picking
exactly. Yeah.
your own schedule.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
depends on many factors. For instance, you get the project and it's super also popular in Upwork when clients needed things to be done super urgently. And you
Correct.
understand
Yeah.
like, okay, I have full day today and I can spend full day on this, right? And
Hmm. Hmm.
depends on the type of the projects, I actually like manage my schedule. If I see that client, for instance, not in a rush, we really can dedicate some like I don't know, like for the medium sized project we can dedicate like a month maybe, like, or 3 weeks, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
not in rush and I can like do like some research from my side. I could not be feeling like super under pressure, right? I pick the time that I found more productive for me, right?
Exactly.
Recently, I find myself more productive in the evenings or at night. For me, actually, right now it's super
Correct.
normal to
Yeah.
start
Yeah. Yeah.
my work. day at 4 p.m., right, and work till
Yeah.
like late
Work till
night.
late night. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
Can
exactly.
relate to.
Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, because I found this like the best for me. I actually spend the first half of my day on waking up later than usual and
Wow.
making great breakfast, right? Go to the gym and do some stuff that I need to do within the
Yeah.
timeline of the day when it's like still sunny, like you have like a lot of light and you want to like go
Got
out
it.
and meet friends. And in the
Wow,
evening,
wow.
actually, like I find myself more productive because in the day I can attend some meetings, right? Also depends on the client
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there are like clients I work with different time zones. There could be like clients from US, and I need to also do like approach myself more to the East time zone
Eastern
or
time
to
zone. Yeah, yeah.
understand exactly. There could be clients within the Europe time zone that are like the most comfortable for me. It
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
actually, because actually right now I work more with US clients, and I found myself like more productive in the evenings because my
That'll
evenings right
match your
now.
time zone. Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
No, I
kind of
get it.
like beginning of their day, right? And it's super,
Correct.
um, I find it like a super great balance. So when you are freelancing, it's super important for you to have that skill and that ability and willingness to find the balance for your work life
Yeah,
approach and also for the clients to get the best communication. Because
yeah,
when you
yeah.
work for a company, for instance, you know that you need to work from 9 to 5, from Monday to
Yes, yeah.
Friday, and no more, right? Yeah, you can overtime, but it like based on your wish. Like if you want overtime, that's okay. Like, and that's actually
Yeah,
like more detailed thing, right? I'm speaking about the
yeah,
more.
yeah. No, no, no. That's right. And I do see some people even in the corporate world. There are managers who probably even try to reach out to people after work hours, and there are people who voluntarily offer more time after work hours, which yeah, which probably impacts their work life balance as well. But I think based on what you said, you are probably doing a great job at maintaining that work life balance by choosing the hours that you want to work and where you're most productive. I think that's the biggest motivation for anyone to get into the freelancing space, deciding what to do and when to do things. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly. Like yeah, exactly. Like adjusting your schedule to the client, but also to think how hard working you're feeling right now. Like, for
yeah,
instance, last few weeks I'm working on the fixed price projects, and it's not
got it.
like hourly thing because in Upwork you can get like a fixed price or you can
Fixed
work
price or
hourly,
hourly. Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can like I had like experience also to work full time within the freelance platform.
Freelance. Yeah,
And yeah, I was still freelancing, but I was working full time and I also had my schedule. But
got it.
recently, like for now, I'm not working for that company. I'm just working on different projects and I'm working on
Got it.
like delivering them as soon as possible. So I actually find myself right now super hard working in the terms of how many hours do I spend right now during the week,
Correct.
because
Correct.
there are days when you get no projects. There are days when you deliver the work, you're close to your contracts, right? And you're searching for more
More work.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Of course, that's also the thing that you have that instability when you are in freelance. Yeah, you're
True.
managing your own schedule, but for instance, you do your best to find projects to reply to the clients, but you never know how many projects you're going to have like this week or next month. So it's hard to
Very
predict
true.
your, and from financial aspect, right? It's hard to predict how much you're going to earn next month, and it's something that affect, for instance, your planning. But
Exactly.
yeah, you need to be optimistic, right? You need to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're going to have projects and etc. and it's going to be fine, and it's usually like this. I mean, that's the thing, that when you don't have a lot of work, you enjoy, like you go for a walk, you attend more classes. For instance, like I do still learn more things, and I also have like courses right now,
Got it.
because I want to move like more in the 3D sphere and etc. You
Awesome.
anyway
Okay,
like find
okay.
time. Yeah, you anyway like find time for it, and you are able like to spend some time like without working, right? It's like kind of like vacation, but you didn't choose to be like on
Personal
vacation.
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
No, definitely.
exactly. But on the next week, for instance, you can receive like 5 projects, and they're like
Yeah,
mid complexity projects, and you understand like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I can tell to these clients that I'm gonna take that projects and you're gonna deliver them. And that's the thing, that you need to be super. responsible for the fact that you take the projects and that you're going to deliver them like with the best results, and to see like how not to miss the deadline, how to make
Yeah.
things like works, and to also understand the point that there could be some iterations to be done, right? And during the
Got it.
iterations, it could be like more time needed and required to deliver like specific results.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would tell, yeah, you pick your own schedule, but sometimes you have vacation when you don't want, but you can do it.
Yeah.
That's the
No.
thing
No.
about
Yeah. Yeah, I think the financial instability is, definitely something that needs to be considered. And I think for me personally, I did some contract work in the past, so I know one of the biggest pains for me back then was I wouldn't be able to kind of apply to any loans or mortgages, for example, because they would need someone who has a full-time work, a set fixed salary every month, and that can also guarantee for the next couple of years. Did you face any kind of issues like that in terms of applying for financial products, being a freelancer? I think that's very important to kind of keep that in mind as well.
That's important. That's super important, actually, and that's the pain of mine.
I know, I know, I know, I know. No, that's the reason.
Because
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Basically speaking, I'm from Ukraine, and
yeah,
actually, I'm
yeah.
right now living in Europe. I'm living in Spain right now, and I
Mhm,
managed
mhm, mhm.
myself. Actually, due to freelancing, I managed myself to move to another country, right? To be like in
Country.
more safe space and be
Yeah,
focused
yeah,
on more like working and getting more projects, and yeah, and to have stability from my side to be responsible for the work.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I understand that I'm not right now within my country, and I face some difficulties of taking something to purchase, right, with interest, for instance. I'm not able to
Exactly,
do it here because I'm not officially working, yeah. But
exactly,
the thing is that there's also the thing that when you are freelancing, you need to take care, and you need to also to control like your fees that you're gonna pay, right? So this
exactly.
administrative thing, accounting thing, it's something that you also
Accounting,
need to
very
deal with
important.
by your own, because within the company, if you work, there's usually an accountant that works with your fees and do everything.
Exactly.
When you're
Yeah,
freelancing, you need to do that by yourself. Like I have an accountant that I pay salary actually, and she
yeah.
calculates everything and she pays the fees and etc. That's something that I deal by myself. Like, but you
Got
need
it.
to trust that person, and you are like working like this, and that's the practice that
Yeah,
you're gonna get when you're
yeah,
freelancing.
yeah. No, definitely. I think you also need to plan and keep aside something for the tax as well, when you're kind of filing your tax returns and all. So yeah, no, I think financially, yeah, there are a lot of challenges that one needs to keep in mind if they're entering the freelancing space. That's
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. I just have some last set of questions, Vlada, for you before we wrap up. So, in your overall freelancing journey on Upwork, is there something that you would like to bring about working with clients? Any challenges you've had? Any suggestions for people when working with clients? Because not all clients are kind of give you the same kind of requirements or behave in a similar way, right? You might have some tough clients that you have to deal with. So, any experiences that you'd like to share or any suggestions for people?
Of course, of course. That's actually also the question of how I define my ups and downs during the freelance career.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, of course, that's the thing. When you are freelancing, you deal with multiple clients. It's not
Correct. Yeah.
like you're working on one product, right? And you're dealing with the specific set of people, right? And you deal with them like on the permanent basis.
Yeah.
No, you take you can work like on, yeah, on huge project, for instance, within Upwork, and it's going to be like the specific team that's super cool actually. But right
Yeah.
now, and I understand that like I have a lot of projects and I deal with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So during freelance path, you need to deal with a lot of clients, and if you're a designer, for instance, if speaking about that, some clients they have their personal approach, they have their personal side of things, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes they will not agree with you. You are bringing your
Correct.
expertise and the way that you see things in the specific manner,
Yeah.
that could be not that could be the point that when client get not that much satisfaction from it, and that's
True.
actually how you need to deal with the clients. Because in my experience, I had super nice clients that were super communicative. They were giving me as much details as needed, and I
Yeah.
was feeling super free and creative to bring results.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there were clients that were giving me not that much information, and you need to be, um, I would tell, more improvisation you need to add to the project, right? You need to do
Got it.
things actually the way you see that, and based on that thing, you can actually face some troubles
Yeah.
with the communication of the client, because you see that things are not that satisfactory for the client. And me personally, I was always, that kind of reachable person to understand like how we can move forward, how we can fix things, how I can change the specific design to make it the best result, right?
Yeah.
It was more actually on the UI kind of sphere, because on the UX sphere, I think I never had like any problems like that. It's like the user interface thing that clients see
Got
it
it.
like in another typeface or in another colors or in another style, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I keep hearing this. They kind of get into the UI space and keep suggesting what font you
Exactly.
should use, what colors, and what placements as well at times, which is strange.
Exactly.
Um,
Clients start to play designers actually, and I understand them, because if you are a
yeah,
client, you are likely to be the owner of the business and you have your
correct,
own vision of your business, because clients, they deal with this, like with their children, for instance, right? They want to raise it the best, and they see that, oh, I want to do that. No, I want to do that. That's the thing, that clients
correct,
sometimes they
correct, correct.
change their, for instance, requirements and etc. But that's the thing, if you're working within like the fixed price contract, it's super hard because you spend more time and you want to get paid more, right? You
Exactly,
are
exactly.
not
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a
yeah.
fixed price contract, like making changes for ages and not to get paid for that, right? So
Exactly. No, no, yeah,
when
yeah,
you're on the hourly, yeah, it's super good because you can like really adjust some specific
yeah.
how
You,
to
you
say,
can you can keep
estimated
working and you
hours.
can, yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly. But to let client know, like, okay, well, I'm gonna work more today on this. It's gonna take like few hours for me, and etc. But on fixed price,
No, no,
also it's super nice. You can communicate with people and like, hey, can we add a milestone for these iterations because I want to spend time on this, or I spend time already,
exactly.
right? But it's
Yeah, yeah,
better
yeah, yeah.
to discuss like beforehand, actually.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I had
No,
situations.
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry. I had situations when clients refused to pay, for instance, or they wanted to make like
Wow.
50% discount. They wanted like, yeah, to cut the price, for instance, but you already spent your time and you delivered
Wow.
results. And actually, Upwork provides a super good assistance in this manner, I think, because you can file a dispute and you can check how you can communicate with client, but already with Upwork specialist help. That's
Got
something
it.
that I was involved to, and there were clients that I was talking to already with the specialist from Upwork, and they were more likely to communicate, because before the dispute they were super like refusing to talk and
To communicate. Yeah, yeah.
find
Got it.
to find a compromise, exactly. So I think if we speak about Upwork, it's super nice to see how you can deal with the client. But my
No,
tip
yeah.
would be, you need always to see what kind of project you're going to work on. If it's going to be fixed price projects, it's super good to see like the client put money on escrow, for instance, and you see that,
Exactly.
okay, client already like put the kind of like deposit money into the platform, and you
Platform, yeah.
understand as well, this client is not going to disappear or something, right? It's like protection, your financial protection to see like how you can get paid for the things, because
True.
when you're on freelance, you're managing yourself by your own, and you need to sometimes, yeah, you need to like to find a specific manner to communicate and to see
Yeah.
how you can do it quickly. And it's something that I would like not to scare people, but to be prepared, because it's the thing when you need to deal with different clients and you need to find the specific approach to them. So you
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
need to feel the product and feel the needs and bring something that would satisfy client, and also
yeah.
will have the expertise included. And because you care, as a UX designer, of course you care to keep your client satisfied. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's more important to care about users who will use the product, right? Because it's for
Definitely.
them.
Yeah.
It's super
Exactly.
important to get
Exactly.
that joy from using the platform and to yeah, and to keep on using it because it's actually how the business is going to grow for that client. So
Yeah,
keeping in
yeah,
mind
yeah.
that you need to be super communicative, and yeah, and sometimes you need to go forward to that person and to see how actually you can for instance reach some compromise in that manner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing.
No, no, that's super valuable, and I think you mentioned a great point to kind of keep the end users in mind. That's very important because clients and managers sometimes, even in the corporate world, I've seen that multiple times. Be it like the product managers or even the managers from other teams could
Exactly.
try to influence what needs to go into the UI aspect of the product, which could probably have a negative impact when it's finally launched to the end users, because designers are the people who have more expertise and knowledge on how a product should look like and how the experience should look like. And probably if there is too much interference or involvement from other people who are not probably that well experienced or educated on how the end user experience should be, that could probably impact the end product. That's a great point that you've shared, Vlada. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah,
And finally, before closing, I have two things. I have a small request on behalf of all the people watching this video. One thing is that if you could share what courses that have helped you initially when you got into the design space, that'll be awesome. What I'll do is I'll share that information below the video, so that people who want to start their career in the UI UX space, they can probably explore those courses that you could suggest or refer to, and see if it'll be it'll and see if that's a good fit for them. So that's one request that I have for you. And the second thing is, do you have any other final closing comments or any suggestions for people, be it who want to enter into the design industry, or maybe even into the freelancing journey? Any other closing comments? And just all the resources, I'll get them from you and share that with the audience on the description as well. Yeah,
perfect. Great, great, great. Yeah, I would be
yeah,
happy actually to share the things that gonna help people that are on the beginning of their paths within the design sphere, right?
exactly.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
tell that Udemy actually is a super nice platform where you can get super
Udemy. Okay.
nice courses.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would mention that. Speaking about the tips when you start, if you're speaking about freelancing and you feel that you're super confident with some specific set of skills, start actually within the design sphere. First, not to be scared to talk
Yeah,
with
yeah,
clients, to be super
yeah,
open and to get as much details as you needed in order to start,
yeah,
right? You need to understand how much time it's going to take for you and speak about that openly to the client to see how you can estimate the project and how you
yeah,
can get paid for it, right?
yeah.
The third one, I would tell that when you start, it's super important to see what exactly you can bring to that client, right? It's
True.
based on your skills. So find and explore as much sources that you can on the internet because it's super amazing how you can go into the community of designers, how you can search for the specific visual solutions, right? And to see
Got it.
actually how you can combine the knowledge of already working professionals within that sphere to your process, right? And to share it
Got
also
it.
with the client and to see how you can synchronize some things and some ideas and to use the already existing technologies and the processes, right? Not
Yeah, yeah.
to not try to invent new things, but actually see how products look like, how they work, like how do they behave, to test more
Exactly.
applications on your phone, right? To see
Yeah,
already
yeah,
the existing approach of things to be done and to follow it by bringing your creativity then as the final touch, right? To see how you can bring nice user interface and to care about users because they're gonna use that product and
yeah.
to always make sure that you build something that you would enjoy using yourself. I think that's the best
Wow, that's
tip that I'm
yeah,
gonna tell, yes, because it's super helpful. That's the thing
yeah,
that if
yeah,
you're a designer, it's super nice to feel that you actually bring something to the world. Like you're bringing
yeah,
the
yeah.
visuals that gonna be super enjoyable, user friendly, and people would love to use it. So I would tell this.
Yeah, no, no, that's a great point, definitely. And I think probably referring to platforms like Dribble, where people can get design
Exactly.
inspiration. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah. I want to tell a dribble. For instance, I love also observing some YouTube channels of the specific designers to see how do they
Yeah,
approach the user experience audits, for instance, to see how they go into the details of the human design, right?
correct,
Approach,
correct.
and how do people create the user interfaces. I would love also to mention maybe the website that like super love. I don't know how to tell it. It's called awards.com.
Hmm,
You can also
hmm.
super
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
no, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
that's the thing.
yeah. No, definitely, Vlada. I think I'll gather all those resources from you and definitely share it along with the video so that people watching this can definitely take some insights from that and get into the design space and probably get into the freelancing world as well with the information that you've shared.
Perfect.
Yeah. So finally, thanks so much, Vlada, again for all your time and for great, valuable insights from your journey and tips and suggestions for people who want to enter into the design industry and also into the freelancing space, especially on Upwork. I think it's been really value add to the people who are going to watch this video. Thanks so much for that, and definitely we'll share all your resources on the video, and we'll keep in touch. No, definitely. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge and giving the time today.
Yes, great. It was a pleasure to share my experience, and I wish good luck to anybody who start within that sphere.
No, yeah, definitely. Thanks so much. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.